near the end of his life, Albert Einstein confided to a friend saying, "The exaggerated esteem in which my life work is held makes me feel very ill at ease. I feel compelled to think of myself as an involuntary swindler." Was Einstein really a fraud, or did he just perceive himself to be one? Many of us have felt this way, that we aren't as competent or deserving of our achievements as others might think, and that soon enough, people will discover the truth, that we're an imposter. The persistent feeling of being a fraud is sometimes called imposter syndrome, although it's not really a syndrome. It's a serious form of self-doubt. It's a worldwide phenomenon that's thought to affect up to 70% of us at some point in our lives, but because so few of us share our feelings of self-doubt, many of us feel alone in thinking we're not good enough. The term imposter phenomenon was coined by clinical psychologists Clance and Imes to describe the finding that high-achieving women tended to believe that they were not intelligent and were overvalued by others. For example, one woman in their study said, "Obviously, I'm in this position because my abilities have been overestimated," while another said, "I'm not good enough to be on the faculty here. Some mistake was made in the selection process." These women wrongly assumed that they knew less and could do less than everyone else around them. Since then, psychologists have found that imposter syndrome affects people across age, gender, race, and occupations, although it disproportionately affects women and minorities. People with imposter syndrome may be well accomplished, with important jobs or impressive qualifications from prestigious universities. So why do these people feel like frauds, despite all their accomplishments and numerous examples of success? Imposter syndrome is a form of cognitive bias, a thinking error, in which success is wrongly attributed to external factors, like luck, charm, timing, or connections, instead of internal factors, like effort and ability. Imposter syndrome can appear in any area of our lives, including work, hobbies, friendships, and relationships. Not all imposters experience failure in the same way. Expert on imposter syndrome Dr. Valerie Young thinks there are 5 subtypes of imposter syndrome. The perfectionist cares about how something is done and how it turns out. If there's even a minor flaw, the perfectionist views the whole effort as a failure. To avoid being exposed as a fraud, the perfectionist overthinks and overprepares. They aim higher and achieve more, so that others don't find out that they don't know what they're doing. But with perfectionism, no amount of achievement can ever be enough, and the perfectionist ends up feeling insecure and as though their success wasn't earned. No one is perfect, and we can only do our personal best. So if this sounds like you, try to focus on the positives of what you do rather than the negatives, and allow yourself to make mistakes. It can also help to focus on finding meaning in what you do, even if it's not perfect. While the perfectionist cares about how something is done and turns out, the superhuman cares about how many tasks or roles they can juggle to prove their competence. They feel like a fraud if they're not able to succeed at everything. No one is superhuman, and this way of thinking is likely to lead to burnout and feelings of failure. It's important to maintain healthy work boundaries and to remember that you're only really competing with yourself. The expert cares about what and how much they know and can do. They feel like they should know everything, so if they're asked a question and don't have the answer, they feel like a fraud. The expert engages with constant learning to combat feelings that they're not credible or qualified in their field. In reality, no one can know everything, and it's important to feel comfortable with asking questions and not always having the answers. The natural genius cares about how and when success happens. They believe that accomplishments should come quickly and easily. If they need to try hard, then they feel like a fraud. To avoid this possibility, the natural genius is reluctant to take risks and to try new things. It's impossible to be great at everything first time, and we need to remember that we get better at new skills through practice and hard work. The soloist cares about who completes the work and believes that if they need help, then their accomplishments don't count. They avoid asking for help even when it's offered to them and prefer to do things alone. All successful people have accepted help along the way, and not asking for help may slow you and your team down. Imposter syndrome can stop us from sharing our ideas and putting ourselves out there, causing us to miss out on new opportunities in our work, hobbies, and relationships. So how can we cope with imposter syndrome? One way to combat imposter syndrome is to focus on your sense of purpose, which is something you can control, unlike your achievements, which you can't control and may make you feel like an imposter. Focusing on your sense of purpose can still lead to achievements along the way, but these can be used to tell you if you're going in the right direction, rather than being a sign of imposterism. It can also help to voice your fears with trusted colleagues and friends. Doing so can normalise feelings of inadequacy and help you to realise that you're not alone in feeling like a fraud. Sometimes just finding out that terms like imposter syndrome exist can help people to feel better about having these feelings. Often we don't give ourselves enough credit, so it can help to keep a journal of your skills and accomplishments, which you can read whenever you're selling yourself short. This will help to remind you that you earned that job or qualification, and that you add value to the world. People who don't feel like imposters aren't more intelligent or competent, they just think differently about what it means to be competent. In the words of Dr. Valerie Young, the only way to stop feeling like an imposter is to stop thinking like an imposter. Because no matter what you do, you cannot consistently reach the high levels of success you set for yourself, and holding yourself to unrealistic standards will always mean feeling like a failure and an imposter. The good news is that we can all learn to think like non-imposters and to take control of our feelings of self-doubt. Remember that you are better than you think, you deserve credit, and you belong. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so I can make more content like this in the future.